Back on the burn in the borders. Welcome back. Thought I'd try a bit further up the burn. I keep saying I will, and my legs always give up before I get here. So anyway, I've lightened the pack a little bit and I'm up here to find the source. There's a lump of quartz. It's upstream. We'll keep going. I'm not going to go too far because I want to try this stretch anyway, but it'd be nice to find the source if we can. Absolutely beautiful little river this. Beautiful. There's a big boulder. And that's just beautiful. That is just right for a little sluice emplacement, I think. Lots of gravel below it. Big dropout area there. Back down to that big boulder. Keep looking, I think, but it's looking good. Here's the bedrock up the bank. It's very cleavable. Look at that. It's almost a slate, isn't it? But not quite. And lots of little, as you can expect from that slaty rock, lots of little catch points like that. So I think I'll stop here and just try this and then work my way down, just doing bits and bobs, get down to that big boulder and then see how we get on. And then if there's nothing happening, I'll up sticks and just pop down the burn about another 200 metres. We'll see. Well, if you're fairly new to gold panning, and I know there's a lot of people who have started doing it, I think I can advise on peak equipment because you reach your limit as to what you can carry. Bucket, a couple of pans and a griddle, which I always end up calling a griddle. A good pump, that's from JT Gold Panning, really good. I've bullied it something terrible and it hasn't given up on me. Small shovel. My latest addition is this big thing here, this crowbar. The head of a rake and a short handle. Food and a hat with a midge net. No, you can't see in there. Drinks. Keep hydrated. Drinks. And then all the small stuff for crevicing. So I've got a smaller JT pump, I've got my sluice, little scoop, I've got a pointer which I've never really used yet, and poking about tools. So that's what you need. I think anything else is getting a bit over and above, unless you're on a river where you can justify bringing a pair of waders. But I think beyond what I've got there, it's getting a bit too much, isn't it? So, I've got a snuffer bottle in there and a pair of gloves. So, I mean, that's a long back Bergen off eBay, and I'm not fitting much more in there now. So that's your lot. I'm not having any more in that sack now. Well, I've cleared out the top, the overburden in these two channels. This channel here, this channel here. That one's got some white, light coloured stone. I wonder if that is quartz. I'm not sure. It's actually flowing through. So my initial impression was these were two that were at a good right angle to the river, which they are, but the water seems to be flowing through. Whether it's because I've cleared them out or not, I don't know. But I've got all the top stuff off. I'm going to bring the little the smaller gravel pump in a minute when I've just run the overburden gravels through to see what sort of rocks are there. Well, there was nothing in that first half a bucket, so we're going to clean out these. Let me give you some light. Clean out these little grooves with the let's show you on full zoom. Mr. Wiseman's gold poker or whatever it's called. Very good tool, available on the internet via Facebook, I do believe. So I'll scratch these out. Well, there's the crevice, and I've just had a really good deep dig in there. What I thought might have been quartz Oops, sorry. What I thought might have been quartz was actually clay, because when I've had the Wiseman tool down the crevice, there's clay coming out of it, so that's a good sign. So I've just got less than a quarter of a bucket really from that right hand channel there, and it's down by the sluice down there, so we'll give that a run through. Nothing in the sluice yet, but you know it's a good sign when you see these red hematitic stones. So I'm going to carry on, because follow me if you will, up at the crevice number 2, the one that I've been digging. I've been going steady and slow just since I've let the sluice finish off its work, but if I push down in there, looky see, that's got to be worth digging more of, isn't it? So I'm going to do that. Well, I had great fun clearing out that crevice, but there was zero in it. I mean, it was so promising. It was full of clay. The clay got a darker brown as you got deeper. Middle of a river, you know, looking good. Nothing in it. Oh, I guess it was because of the angle of it. Anyway, we'll move downriver after I've had some snap and see what's further down. Maybe near that big boulder, don't know. Well, that's where the sluice was a minute ago. I've just come down a little bit and there is bedrock. So I might have a little go on there, see if there's anything in the tiny little crevices. Or, just thinking about it, maybe I'm above the source. So, if you look at the big boulder, and zoom out, if you look at the big boulder and walk over to it, mucho bedrock. Look up at the hill, big boulders. So I wonder if maybe there's a dike comes down here and this is what's got the gold in it. Maybe. There's certainly lots of rock to have a poke around. In fact, there's one there. That looks a bit, well, it is heavy, it's quartz. So I think I might come down here and just have a dabble below, and there's more bedrock there on the side, look, so that might be the source. Let's find out. Well, I didn't see a single piece of quartz up there, just where the sluice was and just above where I was digging out that crevice. No gold, no quartz. Come down here and within the space of what, 5, 6, maybe 10 metres, found that big lump I showed you a minute ago, and I found another lump which I've smacked in half, and I found this lump. So the piece I smacked in half, let's get some sunshine on him. It's sort of a very red colour host rock with little stringers of quartz going through it. Let's see if we can get a macro. So I think I have found the source. It's literally what I'm stood on. This very red, look at that, that's really red. And the sedimentary rock just up the way there is all just like pebbles of grey wacky and whatnot, siltstone. But I mean, you come here and it's bright red in the bedrock. Look at that. It looks a bit orange on the camera, but it is actually red, if you believe me. And in the side of the river there, that's back to the grey wacky siltstony stuff. So I reckon I'm stood on the source here. So clearly I'm not going to be bringing dynamite to blow it up. I'm going to have to get down river a bit, aren't I? Because there's no use having lumps this big you need these to have been bashed about in the river and release their gold. So that's what I'm going to do. I'll take these samples with me in the rucksack and I'll head down river a bit, perhaps 100 metres, don't know. I'll see where's good to pan. Right, I was just round the bend there, about 50 to 100 metres up around that corner. There's a little tuberity comes in here. I've actually panned that a little bit before, but in winter when it was high water it was really difficult. So I've come down here. Bedrock, deep channel, bedrock, coming across, make a nice sluice for a big sluice, that one. My fairly small sluice in there, very easy placement, must admit. It's the bit I find very difficult about gold panning is putting a sluice in place. Anyway, it's there, running nicely. And I think I'm going to pull up a big stone and see what's underneath it. This one, move that. There's bedrock there. I can sucker all around there. Shift these little cobbles here. See how we get on. I'll report back and hopefully we've got some pretty virgin, non-bashed gold floating around in here. And just before I get going in this new location, I've just pulled the boulder out of the river. Pretty small, it's only a bit bigger than my hand, but you can see, look at the stringers all the way through. Nice big chunky bit of, nice chunky bit of quartz on the end there. So that all looks good. I think it's got a couple of caddis fly on it, so I'll put that back. There we go. Right, I'll go and shift a rock or two. Okay, so I've moved that boulder up the boulder's width, and you might be able to see there's a bit of a, if I don't fall down, there's a bit of a hole in there. Now I've ruined it because it's all ripples, but I'm stood very close to the bedrock here. There's my bucket, and I'm just going to sucker all this loose gravel off the bedrock, pull out any more cobbles from here and see what I get. Okay, sit rep. There's the boulder I moved up river the boulder's width. There's the bedrock underneath my boulders that I've stacked up. You can see the bedrock underneath them. You can see I've still got quite a bit of material to move to get down to where I need to be, but I think underneath there may well be good things to be found. Yeah, underneath there and underneath there. So I will keep on digging, but I've not had a speck of gold yet, which is a bit worrying, but that's the way it goes. Well, just in time for a catch up, the sun's come out, so that's good. This hole is taking some digging. It doesn't look very deep, but it's nearly over the top of my wellies now, that one. But I get the feeling I'm getting down to some good stuff. There's a bit of clay on some of the cobbles that I'm bringing out, so I thought I'd clean the sluice out, plus the fact that it seemed to be getting full of heavies. So compared to what I was getting 200 metres up the road, this stuff is filled with that red heavy iron stuff, and some of this really dark silvery metal stuff. I guess it's magnetite, but it's in chunks rather than sand. It's not black sand, it's black gravel, and you can feel the weight in the pan. Anyway, I thought I'd clear it out because my sluice was getting a bit choked up with it. So I was expecting nothing in here because I've not seen a single speck on the top mat. But if I just clean this up, you'll see I have got a little bit of gold, which means I am going to be digging that hole deeper. So there's the multicoloured heavy stuff, but up at the top of the pan I've just got a few little specks of gold. There's more up there, and I know in this river there are some chunkier bits, sort of like the grain of a piece of sugar. a grain of sugar, that sort of size, with a bit of weight to them, and they do make a ding when you drop them in the pan. So I'm going to keep going down that hole and hopefully get to some of the bigger stuff. Well, I'm back at home now. I carried on digging for a bit, cleared out that hole I think as best I could. I don't think there's a huge amount in there, but I learnt loads for the day. It was yesterday that I went, but I got loads of heavies in that hole compared to zero, I would say. Zero heavies further upriver where I started the day off. So I'm going to pan out the gold here. It was too much for my little pan, for my finings pan. So I've split it into two halves. I think that's the top half, so there's probably nothing in that one. So there should be some in here. I'll pan it back and show you. Okay, well there's the gold separated out. I'll get a macro of it and see if it comes out better. But hopefully that tells me that I was right. There was no gold above where I found that dike crossing the river, and there is gold below. I just don't think the river's had enough chance to bash those bits of rock around and release the gold. So I think I need to go down the river a bit more to get any meaningful amount. There we are, cleaned up, ready for the going in the vial. Okay, well I'll move downstream next time I see you, or well next time I see you on that particular burn. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.